All right, good afternoon and welcome to the International Association of Emergency Managers webinar for the poster showcase for your tips for success. I want to thank you all for joining us today. My name is Dwayne Hagelgans and I'm the co-lead of the poster showcase working group. And before we really get started today, I'd like my colleagues to introduce themselves. Kathy?
Good afternoon. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. My name is Kathy Clark, and I am the chairperson of the IAEM Training and Education Committee and a co-lead with my colleague, Dr. Dwayne Hagelgans, on the Poster Showcase Working Group. Julie?
Hi, everyone. I am the conference manager for IAEM.
All right. Thank you, everybody. All right. So here's what to expect for today. Everyone, if you have questions, you should type them into the chat box. And those questions will go right to Julie, and at the end, she'll be able to give us the questions. We'll be able to answer. Kathy and I and Julie will be able to help you with that. She's going to monitor that throughout the entire time of today's webinar. So if we get to the point where we see your questions not covered in an upcoming slide, we'll make sure that we answer that at the end for everybody. Our hope for this webinar is to put all of you at ease and to answer any of your questions that you may have about the poster showcase, and make this year's poster showcase another success like we've had in the last couple of years.
So where we're going to start today with the poster showcase page on the IAEM conference website. Now, for those of you who want to go ahead and look at it live, go ahead, go to the link above this screenshot. The poster showcase is integrated on the IAEM conference site and has evolved over the past few years into what you see before you. It's important that we talk about the purpose of the poster showcase, which is to convey to a wide audience the significance of an individual's research project, practice, or general findings to both practitioners and scholars in the emergency management community, in addition to the general public. As most of you know, the poster showcase is open to students, academics, and practitioners. IAEM recognizes much of the work happening across our industry today happens at an organizational level. However, and this is really an important piece, the poster showcase is an opportunity to share the work of individuals, not organizations. So participants chosen to present their work, I jumped ahead of myself there, chosen to display your work will receive a certificate of participation that documents credit towards the IAEM certification program under Professional Contribution Category F, which is speaking. And as a reminder, our poster showcase call for abstracts is now open, and we encourage everyone to submit your abstracts. Each year, this event has continued to grow and evolve thanks to the participation and feedback from previous participants. And before we leave this page, I do want to draw your attention to the arrow in the middle of the slide, which is where that link is to the speaker page, to the speaker pages. And as we advance forward, in the previous slide, we had the screenshot from the website with the poster showcase page. So really quickly, here's the information from the speakers pages. It's important to click on each of those links and the tabs to get all the information you need to be the most successful in the poster showcase event, the conference, and anything else you might need. The poster showcase guidance document is also on this page. And once again, this is your go-to document that has everything that you need to know about the poster showcase in one spot. So as we go through the remainder of the presentation, please jot down your questions in the chat box. We want to make sure that we address all of your questions today or after this webinar. So if questions pop up later on, please reach out to any one of us. Our contact information will be included at the end of the slides. As Dwayne said, we are here to help and make this a very positive experience for you. So keep your pens handy as we review the program and steps to submit an abstract. A fabulous idea might pop into your head, so write that idea down before it disappears.
All right, thank you, Kathy. So what we see here is the Poster Showcase guidance document. It was mentioned before, it has everything in it that you need. So you get this document, you can read through it. We need to emphasize, and Kathy will say it, and Julie will say it, and I'll say it, that this is about as low stress a poster showcase as you'll find, because our hope is that we get more and more practitioners and students to get involved to spread the good information that we're researching in emergency management. So in this document, you'll see all the dates you need to know, the benefits to you as a participant, and of course the rules of submitting and presenting. Again, don't get too tied up with that. If you have questions, we're here to help you get through all this. So between this webinar and the guidance document, we think we're going to cover pretty much everything you need and all the usual questions. But again, just remember, you can email us at any time. Start looking at this now to figure out what you need to do to get your poster into the competition. So this is our third year of having participants competing against a standard rather than each other. A few years ago, we decided that it would be better to grade each poster individually and then create a system in which you have, as you see there, gold, silver, or bronze standards. So it's not like somebody's first and somebody's seventh or eighth or ninth. We can have, hopefully, all gold posters. So that's what we're trying to do. So emergency management, as we know, is a profession based upon collaboration, coordination, communication, right? And we're very excited that this event continues to expand and grow, and we attract participants who are willing to share their research findings with all of us. Some of the projects and outcomes and ideas that we've seen, they've shared with their colleagues and all the conference attendees, and we think that's very important. So our categories, as I was trying to state, is student, academic, and practitioner. For the student categories, of course, we have undergraduate and graduate students. And then again, the participants are competing against that rubric, and so you can either get a gold, a silver, or a bronze. So we feel that by doing the standard, this makes it a really a fair competition, and it makes it very transparent, which leads to a lot more collaboration and sharing of great ideas and concepts by all of us.
If you are a student entering the competitive division, additional documentation is required when you submit your abstract. A copy of your ID card won't be sufficient. We prefer a PDF of an enrollment letter or schedule of classes showing the academic year. If you submit your abstract without it, I'll be reaching out to you to make sure that you provide it to us. If you don't, unfortunately, you won't be able to continue on in the competitive division.
So we recognize that not everyone wants to go through the competition aspect of this event, but you have some really exciting project findings or information to share with your colleagues about your specific agency, your jurisdiction, your individual office unit, or a practice that you have actually identified, perhaps gone forward as a best practice. Perhaps it's working in a collaboration or disaster operation. Well, whatever that is, you can submit an abstract for it. This is an opportunity to share that great information with your colleagues. The only caveat, and this is important, and this is something that we do look for in this process, that this cannot be a commercial or a way to market or sell anything. So we're very aware of those aspects, and we really want people to, again, focus on the great work that's going on. We already know it's going on across the country, and really want to encourage people across the spectrum, practitioners and academics and students alike, to really submit an abstract and share the great work that you're doing with the conference attendees that will be gathering together in Savannah. So this is, and again, all of this information is in the guidance document, but this is the abstract submission requirements. So we're looking for the heading, the title of the abstract, the name of the presenter, your affiliation, then the information regarding your address, your phone number, and a primary and alternate email address. And you must include what division are you going to be part of. Are you going to be part of the competitive division? And then once again, if you're in competitive, you select another category. Are you a student, graduate, or undergraduate? Are you an academic or practitioner in the competitive division? And then again, if you're in the non-competitive division, please indicate that as well. Once again, the abstract and the title length is limited to 250 words or less. Your title, 10 words. And then we do, when all those abstracts are submitted, we do reserve the right to edit those for clarity, grammar, or proper usage. But again, please remember to refer to the guidance document and submit this information to Julie Husk. Her email is on the screen by April 26th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time.
Okay, as soon as I take the phone off mute, I can talk better. So, developing your poster. So here's what you see as a screenshot directly from the guidance. And since everyone who's accepted will be presenting their poster at the conference to the attendees or for the competition, as Kathy was explaining, we need the following information done in kind of a uniform manner. We're trying to make it so that it's clear and easy for everybody to see. So although you may be familiar with some other poster events and they may be a little bit different with their respective formats, we're trying to do our poster showcase competition a little bit differently so that it looks similar and it's easy to read so we can share with those in our field. So we're very interested in what you have to share with us as an emergency management community, and what and how you choose to share it is part of that message, right? So if this is your first time and you're not sure if you should submit, please submit. This is again, it's kind of a low stress environment in which we're here to help you, and we're here to network and spread the good information you have and help you out. As you'll hear, we'll have mentors to help you through the process. We're going to be available from now until the actual date of the submission. So on the left side of the screen is the poster template. Please pay special attention to the header. It's important that all posters have this information at the top so that when we walk up and we look at it, everybody's looking at the same place for the same type of information. Also, it's very important that you have the IAEM hashtag for the conference, your name, the title of the poster, and the category you're selecting to participate in. It's also very important that you incorporate all the other poster requirements listed in the image on the right as you develop your poster. One of the things you'll see there at the top is citations. Citations whenever you're developing any work product, which is basically what a poster is very, very important so that people know where you've done your research and where you've gotten that information. So make sure that you have that up there. Even if you're doing something that your company has developed and your research is based upon that, figure out if it's part of a standard operating guideline or a procedure or something else that your company uses, a policy procedure that you can use in there. Maybe it's a new document developed upon a new system. If that's the case, just make sure that you have that citation in there so that we can see where you got your research, where you've developed this information from. So whatever it is, we want to see the source on the poster for the times when the person is not standing in front of it. Your poster will be there for most of the week, and what you'll notice at the conference, if you've not been there before, or if you have been there before, is that people are constantly coming by the posters and looking at them, and people like to see what has what research is being done, what new creative things are out there, and the citations are what helps them. I don't know if you want to expand on any of that, Kathy or Julie, if you had anything to add to that.
No, Dwayne, I think you've covered the main things, and we'll get into some of the other things that we're looking for as we continue on in the presentation.
All right, very good. So again, we want to make sure that everyone who has research or a best practice to share understands that this is a great opportunity to share your work product. This is the opportunity to network. We've had lots of students and practitioners and academics at the competition and at the conference that have been able to network and share their information. And all this leads to either, you know, additional research. Sometimes it leads to developing a formal session for a future conference for a presentation. And oftentimes what we see is a networking begin where people see something that they're interested in and start to network with the person that does the presentation. So an ideal opportunity for you and your career and to present to us what new things you're developing.
Okay, thank you, Dwayne. One of the important elements that we would like to share with everyone, and this is part of the aspect of the poster showcase, is what we call coaching and or mentoring. And so after you're selected to present your poster and participate in the poster showcase event, IAEM will offer you an opportunity to consult with a coach who can provide feedback during your poster development on the on-site oral presentation, or just really answer questions in relation to the evaluation guidelines and rubric, or any question that you may have throughout this process. And as what's on the screen there is that all you need to do to take advantage of that is contact Julie Husk between June 3rd and October 4th of this year. That's when you will be paired up with a mentor or coach. And I know Dwayne has served in that role before, as a number of members from our Training and Education Committee who have participated in the event themselves and then stepped forward to be part of the coach mentor opportunity. So it's really something that we have seen grow and develop over time. Now, again, we want to provide you with the best opportunity and the most favorable situation to present yourself and your work. So we want to emphasize we are here to help and not dissuade anyone from participating, which is why we're going through in these great details and lengths to be helpful and offer this coaching opportunity. If you want it, you don't have to have it. And you certainly have plenty of time to incorporate any feedback that you get throughout this process prior to the conference and printing your final poster. And again, we want to make it as easy as possible throughout this process. We can go back and forth with you on email, or we can always have a phone call, whatever works for you, whatever is most helpful for you. And you can ask for further clarification or more coaching throughout the process if you need it. The other key element I'd like to underscore as we're talking about this is that we really do understand and respect how important your poster is to you. And please remember that any feedback offered is designed to help you enhance your content, your format, or your overall presentation in general. And as a reminder, and this is part of what I mentioned earlier when Dwayne was talking about the specifics of the poster template, that this contest or competition showcase event does not permit logos of any kind. This is your work, not work of your team or your mentor or your colleagues or your professors. We want this to be focused on you as an individual. So we're really looking forward to receiving posters developed for the IAEM conference reflecting our 2019 theme, which is Honor the Past, Treasure the Present, and Shape the Future.
All right, thank you, Kathy. And as Kathy said, with the mentoring process, and I've done it the last couple of years in a row, it usually involves can involve, I should say, phone calls and certainly emails over the course of the time while you're developing your poster. So these pictures are from 2018, our conference in Grand Rapids last year, and you can see the posters and how we have them displayed in a pretty prevalent area there. The poster dimensions are 3 feet in height and 4 feet in width, which is fairly standard in poster competitions. But you do want to make sure you have a balance of text and images and white space, and that the poster should be attention grabbing. People will be walking by, you know, and they'll be looking over, and a lot of times they'll see something that'll grab their attention, and they'll walk over and further review your poster. In addition to that, the poster should be readable from about 4 to 6 feet, so it makes it a little bit easier. Make sure that you don't have errors on it. Make sure you proof it. Read it out loud. Have somebody else look at it before you print it, because the terrible thing is when you print this poster and then all of a sudden you discover you have an error. Printing obviously costs some money. So all these things are part of the rubric where we're evaluating the posters, or I should say the judges are evaluating the posters. Make sure that your resources and your examples for your academic posters, all this information can be found in the guidance in Appendix 1. And again, as has been mentioned numerous times, you can get a hold of any of us at any time.
I will be sending out several emails once you are accepted, explaining the coaching process, explaining your next steps, and any logistical issues as the event draws closer, including exactly where you get to put your poster up. I'll give you directions as far as the timing of that. And this is all in our guidance also as far as the dates of this. We try to locate the post. As you can see here, it looks like a big open area. This was in Grand Rapids in a large foyer that was outside the meeting rooms and outside the registration area in EMAX. And we try to do that same thing in every location, putting it in kind of in a central area so it's highly visible with high traffic area, people going back and forth for sessions, into the registration area and EMAX, which is our exhibit hall where we have all of our receptions and lunches, etc. All posters will need to be set up by Sunday, November 17th at 3 p.m. Eastern. And that includes all people in competitive and non-competitive divisions. On Tuesday morning, there will be a poster presentation session during the morning break between sessions, and all participants, whether you're in competitive or non-competitive, must be by their poster to answer questions from attendees. Attendees will be coming by, and that's a point where they can actually see you face to face and actually ask that one-on-one question of you and provide further networking, hopefully later on throughout the conference. Back up a little bit on Monday evening, if you're in the competitive division, that is when you will be having your poster evaluated by a group of evaluators.
Okay, thank you, Julie. So we're going to just, again, talk briefly a little bit here about the evaluation criteria. And this information is available in the guide in more detail. And we show everyone this up front, and we talk about it and encourage you to ask questions along the way, because we don't want any surprises. And this isn't about the first, second, and third place and on down the line. This is about achieving that standard. And so we really believe that it's so important, and I want to, again, emphasize the purpose of the poster showcase, which is to convey to a wide audience the significance of your research project, practice, or general findings to attendees in the conference of the emergency management community, as well as the general public. So on the screen in front of you today is a snapshot of the rubric the judges use for the competitive side of things. Everyone is judged, rated with the same rubric by a team of judges made up of academics and practitioners. And later this summer and early fall, we actually put a call out for people who are interested in serving in that capacity. And so we also build in alternate evaluators in case there is a conflict of interest that's discovered on site. And we ask for extensive information about what programs are you affiliated with, what institutions do you serve at, and then sometimes when we get on site, we find something that we just didn't anticipate. So we do have alternate judges because we really want this to be as transparent and fair for all. We want this to be the best poster showcase event for an opportunity for a presenter and judges to have a positive experience. So we really are diligent in trying to be good emergency managers and anticipate issues while working in advance of this event and respecting everyone's professional capabilities and your approach to this project. So participants, as Julie mentioned, in the competitive division must be present during the evaluation session, and that is on Monday, November 18th, and that's held from 6:30 to 7:30, and that's Eastern time. And your panel of evaluators will assess the poster showcase entry at that time. We also want to emphasize that your poster should be visually attractive. An attention-grabbing, visually stimulating that encourages questions from the evaluators. And you'll see there that there is points awarded for the oral description and discussion. Please pay attention to how that is handled. We do have one of the judges that serves as a timekeeper. And so as a presenter, you will kind of get a little visual cue at 3.5 minutes that you are coming up on your 4-minute mark. And then you actually get a hard stop after 4.5 minutes. And that is scored accordingly. So if you have any questions about that, that has been one of those aspects that people have had questions about in the past. One of the areas that we have really taken into consideration the feedback that we received from both participants in the past and also people who have served on the judging panels to really try to shore this up and really make that timekeeper role transparent and consistent across the event. And then again, we really encourage, so participants who are in the competitive division, we want you to expect questions concerning your research methods used, the significance of the content and how it applies to practicing emergency managers, any controversial aspects of your findings and future direction of your research based on what you learned through your current findings. So again, we hope this stimulates conversation and really engages conversation with not only the judges, but as that presentation session that comes up on Tuesday. And it's very gratifying to see all of the attendees going by these posters and engaging those of you that have put those posters together. So think about it as a strategic engagement conversation to open the door for future networking opportunities.
All right, so there's a couple of other important things here as we get close to wrapping this up. First of all, and I should have mentioned this before and I did not, but remember that the posters are expected to be developed specifically for the IAEM conference. You know, hopefully you don't have some poster that, you know, you've shown at 12 or 13 other events. We want this to be for our conference and for our competition. So make sure that, you know, you're working on something specific for us, and we appreciate that. So as far as the important dates, the first deadline is April 26th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, which is the submission of your abstract. And then by June 3rd, the IAEM will notify you of your selection. And between June 3rd and October 11th, you'll be able to contact us, contact Julie, and she'll be able to assign you a coach or a mentor. And something to keep in mind is even if you're working on this and all of a sudden you get a month or two into it, you know, all of a sudden it's August and you're starting to have some doubts, you can still reach out and get somebody to help coach and mentor you. And then the final PDF image of your poster is due to IAEM by October 11th. And then the balance of the dates are for on-site logistics, as we mentioned, that are on there. You know, we want your poster there because sometimes, you know, the judges will look at it before they actually talk with you. The participants, I have lots of pictures of last year for Monday during the day where many of the attendees of the conference were out looking at the posters. So it's really an ideal time for you to showcase your work. So again, we're almost at the end here, but if you do have questions, if there's something you're thinking of as we've been talking, please put them in the chat box for Julie, and we'll try and answer them. And you can look there for the other important dates. So while Julie's reviewing to see if there's any questions in the chat box that we haven't already answered, again, I just want to emphasize that all of us are here, and we're just part of the committee. We do have a committee of folks. We have people that will help with the mentoring, the coaching, help along the way. We're here to help however we can. Again, we want to make this as low stress as possible. So please feel free to reach out to us at any time with questions. The webinar also has been recorded, so you can go back and listen to it every day from now until November 11th. Because you enjoyed it so much, how great it was. Again, you can look at the IAEM poster or the IAEM conference website, and usually it takes a couple days until the recording is up, but it should be up within a couple days if you have something you want to go back, or again, you can come to us, and we're happy to help you in any way that we can. And again, the link for the recording will be sent to you as soon as Julie gets it up. Kathy and Julie, I don't know if you have anything else, exciting tips to add that I maybe missed.
I have a few questions, Dwayne. So Kathy, the part you were talking about, can you repeat the maximum number of words allowed in the abstract submission?
Yes, it's 250 words in the abstract and the title, so I don't want to steer anybody wrong here, so let me just get back to, I believe it's 10.
10 max.
10 max for the headlines, and 250 for the abstract itself. And again, that information is, I just want to reference that information is also in the guidance document.
And on that note, can you submit the same abstract for both competitive and non-competitive? And can you submit multiple abstracts?
That's interesting, and what a great question, because the exciting thing is we've not been given that question before, but as I recall, in many conversations that we have had, so Julie, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is, each individual is allowed to do one poster. It's not, you can't do multiple posters, so unless I'm mistaken, but I believe that
would be correct. We'll make it very hard at the presentation session on Tuesday to have two posters going. And as far as entering in both competitive and non-competitive, if you're going to be competitive, you're going to be subject to the evaluation session on Monday evening. You can enter in one division and then decide down the road that you want to flip to another one. That's perfectly fine. The only difference, really, unless I'm forgetting something, Dwayne and Kathy, is the evaluation session on Monday evening, and
Correct.
Also putting your poster accordingly in the header.
Correct. Now, if you're working with a couple people on different things, obviously different people can present different posters, but any one person should probably just propose one poster.
All right, another question. Who do we contact to talk through whether our entry qualifies for a poster?
I think you can just send any one of the three of us an email, because I think all three of us will talk about it. I'm assuming when the question says that they're maybe thinking because it's commercial maybe or something. I'm not sure. Other than being commercial, there's not a lot of reasons why it wouldn't qualify. Kathy?
I think you nailed it on the head. And I'm just thinking past the past entries. We don't turn people away from this competition. So we encourage you to submit the idea. If we see any, or if you want to run it by, like Dwayne said, ahead of the actual submission, just to see if we see any red flags. That's the only thing, is about the commercial marketing or selling. And we're pretty good at spotting that. So otherwise, I encourage you to submit your idea.
Next question. Is there a specific resolution that's suggested for images and photos?
Not that I know, I'm not a graphics person, but really it's going to come down to you need to figure that out based upon the 3 foot by 4 foot size, because if your resolution is too low, obviously it's going to be very grainy. Not my strong point is certainly not graphics.
And in the past, I would encourage, because again, we are not graphic artists by nature here, is that there are, if you, and we have had examples in the past in the guidance documents of taking a look at those things. So if you have any specific questions, again, feel free to reach out if there's a concern or you want to send us an example. That's also part of that coaching piece, is think about if you're standing 3 feet in front of that graphic element, what does it look like? Is it presenting that idea in the positive light, or is it something that's not reflecting well on that? That would answer your question.
Next question, do we print and bring our own posters?
Yes. You'll be printing them at home or wherever you're working, and then you would bring those along with you. We have no capability to print on site. I would say that they're pretty easy to transport, especially, you can buy a tube to carry them in. If for some strange reason you felt that you wanted to print it in Savannah, I would suggest right now that you look, research in Savannah a place to print posters, but you're probably, if you do that, you would need to bring all your stuff. It's going to cost you probably more money in Savannah than from wherever you're at.
Next question, can I submit 2 abstracts and have only one selected for the showcase?
I personally don't see an issue with that, as long as we're only moving forward with one, Kathy, unless you think there's a reason they shouldn't.
No, it's hard to really have an answer to that. And here's my first reaction to it is, again, that would really be having us making a choice as to which project that would go forward with a poster. And so my encouragement is, we want you to determine, based on your research or your project, and what has the most impact to the emergency management community. Don't leave that decision up to someone, a group of people who don't have the inside knowledge that you do. So I would encourage you to make that decision yourself, based on what will make the most impact in the emergency management community with your peers, practitioners, and colleagues across the country.
Next question, can you co-author a second one?
Well, we've often said that only one name and one, like if you go through the guidance, it says it has to be a individual, even if you work as part of a team. So I would say that from that, you can help anybody, but one person's name has to be on each poster as the person for the poster.
That's all I have right now for questions, Kathy and Dwayne.
So anybody have any additional questions or anything we haven't answered or something we need clarification on?
I appreciate all the questions. It's quite evident that we're going to get these additional questions, and I'm excited about that because it shows that we're continuing to see this event grow and evolve, and the interest in people wanting to share their work, that people are asking about the potential of submitting multiple posters. So I applaud you for that. It's something that we will bring back to the group and continue to talk about. It's not going to be something that we're going to implement this year, but it is great feedback. And as I mentioned early on in our webinar, this event has continued to grow based on the feedback that we have gotten over the years from participants and judges alike. So please continue to ask those questions. It's something that we'll put our heads together and see where we take it in the coming year.
And I just have one more thing to add. There's one more question that popped in here. So everything that we've covered here, for the most part, is in that guidance document that we showed you a picture of that's on the website underneath the speaker pages. So if you need to go through, I would highly recommend you look through it again, because it gives a little more information than we provided here as well. Also, this webinar, as both Dwayne and Kathy said, will be recorded. I will send everybody who's registered for the webinar, as well as post it on the conference website.
All right.
And no more questions as of now.
No, did you say no more?
No more.
Okay. Well, we want to thank everybody for joining us today. We appreciate your time and your interest in the Poster Showcase. Each year, the Poster Showcase gets better and better, and we expect it to be even better this year in 2019. Especially, as Kathy said, listening to the questions. Obviously, everybody's very interested, and this is going to be great. So remember, the call for the abstracts is open. So you can get them into us by April 26th. So you got about 23 days here at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And I just want to, again, thank everybody. Thank Julie and Kathy for all the work that they put into this. And if nobody has any further questions, Kathy, Julie?
No,
I just want to echo what you said, Dwayne, and thank you all for your time. And we really do look forward to seeing the submissions this year. Julie, sorry to step on you.
That's okay. I'm saying the same thing. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, everybody.